Hello everyone, this is Sasha, calling from Wildstar Beta, giving a review on Esper. So let's start off by seeing the build that I'm using. First of all, Esper is based on having this mechanic called Psy Points here, which you can build up using certain abilities like Telekinetic Strike, which deals damage to foes and generates a Psy Point. However, the issue with this that I didn't quite like in PvP is that these kind of skills are situational because it requires you to be stationary, as you can see in the tooltip. And it is also quite a long cast. 1.25 seconds of stationary movement is sometimes a bit circumstantial. So um, I'm not using it in my build right now, and I will tell you why later on. The second ability is Mind Burst. Mind Burst is your finisher, Psy Point finisher, and as you can see from the tooltip, although the damage does increase between one Psy Point to the other, it only increases by a small margin, as you can see, about 120 each time, approximately. And this is why you should always be using your Mind Burst by spamming it when you have just one Psy Point, because that's the most effective. Because if you do two mind bursts in 2 seconds, for example, in two global cooldowns, you do 822 damage. Whereas if you save that Psy Point and you leave it to stack up to 2, then it will give you 543 damage, which is much less. That's why you should be spamming it every Psy Point that you get. The third ability is Concentrated Blade. Um, this you can use it instantly, just like Mind Burst as well, and both of them. The first one is freeform, this one is freeform, and this one is not freeform. So you just have a target and it automatically targets him. And after 4.4 seconds it hits it, and it generates a Psy Point, which is very good because once it hits the target you can immediately use Mind Burst to burst that target. The other one which I'm using is Illusionary Blades. It's basically like Telekinetic Strike, however um, it is a mobile skill and it also has an 8-second cooldown. And the nice thing about it is that although it says that it has a 2.5-second charge, you can basically just hit it and hit the game because it is a charge, and it will automatically do damage for one charge, which in this case, as you can see in the tooltip, is 205 damage. And by doing that, the cooldown is reset to 4 seconds instead of 8 seconds, and it also generates a Psy Point, which is really good because then you can use your Mind Burst again. Now, moving on to the utility skills which I'm using. I'm only using Crush because right now I have a limited action set of 6 skills only, so I don't have a lot of maneuverability with what I can choose, and of course I'm still level 13, so I haven't unlocked everything yet. But I'm using Crush, which is a knockdown to 5 foes as long as you are targeting the right location, and it's pretty useful. However, you can also use something like Shockwave, which is a knockback, and also Fade Out, which reduces damage to you, although I don't think this is really useful. Now, moving on to what makes my build different than other Espers. Well, as you can see, I'm using two support utilities, which makes my build look quite hybridy, which you might think that I'm a healer, but in fact I'm not a healer. I'm not sacrificing a lot of damage to be as effective. As I told you before, Mind Burst, which is our finishing skill, this one, is best used when you just have one Psy Point only, not more than one. So it is better to just use it when you have a Psy Point rather than saving Psy Points to do more damage later on. So what's the idea behind this build? As you can see from this skill, which is called Bolster, it is a targeted skill, targeted on you and on an ally, but the most important effect is on you, because when you use it, you gain a hot and heal over time spell on you, which isn't what it is used for. It is used for because you get a psi point every time you use it, and you can stack it 2 times. So basically, if you need that additional burst whilst you're moving, you can simply use this 2 times if you want, and you can, every time you use it, you can use your mind burst to hit your target, and that would give you a lot and a lot of damage. Additionally, I'm using Soothe, which has no cooldown at all. It has a 2.5-second charge, just like illusionary blades. So basically, you can start charging it, stop immediately, and by stopping immediately, you would heal yourself slightly. Of course, it consumes a bit of focus, but as a DPS dealer, you don't waste a lot of focus, unlike healers in this game. And by doing that, you also generate a psi point, which again you can use for your mind burst. The unfortunate thing about this spell is that it requires you to be stationary, so you can use it by moving, and when you want to gain a psi point and you don't have any other access to a psi point, you just stop for a second, spam your suit skill 2 times, and start moving again, and this should allow you to use your mind burst effectively and on the move, unlike the normal glass cannon Espers that you see running around that spam telekinetic strike. So now I'm just going to show you how it works, how to interrupt your own channel skills, which are this one and this one, Soothe and Illusionary Blades. So basically what you do is you press it and you release, and when you're in combat, by doing that it generates a psi point and it does damage. And when it comes to Soothe, you don't do damage, of course, you heal yourself, but it applies in the same manner. So you just press it once and release it immediately, and it gives you a psi point, which allows you to use your mind burst. After the global cooldown passes, which is only 1 second, you can use your mind burst. So let's find us a mob. Of course, if you want to generate more psi points, you can always cast your Concentrated Blade, which is a targeted ability, and you can charge it 2 times. And also, as I explained previously, Bolster is really good as well to generate psi points. So now let's look at the amps. Of course, we're still level 13, so we can't level up the amps, but immediately I can see a lot of interesting abilities that can be used for the amps. First of all, it is this one, Quick Response. Landing a critical hit with a finisher grants a 100% chance to reduce your cooldowns by 45%, can only occur every 15 seconds. Well, this is really OP, because when you see that you have your innate ability, which is this one. It's on a 2.5 minute cooldown. It basically gives you 100% damage mitigation, so you're basically invulnerable for 5 seconds. And during that period, you generate a total of 10 psi points over 5 seconds, which is really strong, and which means as well that whenever you're going to be hitting your mind burst and critting with it, which is often because of course you will spec around critting a lot and high damage, and of course this build has a lot of mind bursting going on, then this trait is definitely OP, because you will definitely get it every 15 seconds, and it will reduce your cooldown by 45% each time, which is really strong. Also, I'm noticing a certain um, certain abilities which are really strong, such as this one, which using an assault finisher increases your assault power by 745 seconds, which is quite strong as well. This could be really useful for PvP. Dealing damage to a foe has a 25% chance to apply a 22% snare for 5 seconds. And of course, I noticed that the Phantom Swarm ability, which I haven't told you about yet, is unlockable through amps, and I think it's a really strong ability. Basically, what it does, which is this one, it's on a 12-second cooldown. It's instant, and it manifests 3 phantoms that deal 33 damage every 1.25 seconds for 10 seconds. So it's about, uh, I mean, if it's 33 damage for each phantom, that's 99 damage every second, basically. So that's about um 900 damage over 10 seconds, which is really strong, and it also generates a psi point. And what's nice about it is that if you tier it up to tier 8, on death, when they die, I mean, the phantoms deal 721 magical damage to 5 nearby foes, which is really strong in my opinion. It's a huge AoE, which you can cast every 12 seconds, apart from the fact that they do a lot of damage and they generate a psi point, and it's also an instant ability that doesn't require you to be stationary, which really makes sense in this build when you unlock it. Um, Additionally, when you hybridize, so when you go into utility, for example, you gain maximum sprint capacity by 33% in this tree here. It will unlock this PvP offense tree as well, and I believe that these three skills, Energy Charge 1, Energy Charge 2, and Energy Charge 3, are really strong because when dealing damage, critical hits have a 50% chance to increase magic damage output by 3% for 8 seconds and stacks 3 times, which means a 9% increase in damage, and it's really strong in my opinion. So, since the queue hasn't popped yet, I'm going to show you a hard mode. Not hard mode, but it is supposed to be a 2 plus group quest to build this guy. He has 5k HP, I only have 4.1, and his abilities hit like a truck. Let's see how it goes. I want him to come here though, because there are mobs there and I could pull them and make it harder for myself. Okay, let's see.
Double kill.
So those were cleared. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to rely on my ulti as well. It's kind of important to dodge out of those hard nuking attacks that he has.